right, team. How we doing? This is Coach Dana Cavalea coming at you with the Becoming a Champion show, where we are all about inspiration, motivation, and encouragement to move you along your high performance journey. And as always, today we are going to talk about winning. And I feel that you need to be positioned to win. You can't just wake up and say, hey, I hope I win today, because we have to do our best to ensure victory, to guarantee victory. And the only way we can do that is if we have a plan, a winning game plan, the champion's game plan. So today, the title of today's talk is really about getting positioned to win, get yourself in position to win. And I want to talk about how we could do that using 3 simple steps. And the first step I want to talk to you about is controlling your schedule. I talk to too many people that have no control over their schedule. They give their time slots away. They just give it away. If you want to talk to them, meet with them, take a little bit of their time, they'll give it to you because they don't own their schedule. So they can. They're happy to do that. Hey, could you talk right now? They're like, sure, I could talk right now. I could talk in an hour. I could talk in 3 hours. Pace it. You got to pace yourself and you got to own your schedule. If you're just going to give it away like that, you're constantly going to find yourself out of focus. You're constantly going to find yourself limited on time. And you're going to say to yourself at some point, I need to be more productive, or I need to be more focused. Or you may even ask the question, why am I not focused? Why am I not productive? And we don't want you to suffer from these diseases of losers, okay? Winners know what they're doing with their time. They know what they're doing typically at the start of the week. They know where they are going to be. You know, spending my whole career in professional baseball, what I loved about it was I knew when spring training started. That was when my year started. And I knew when the last game of the World Series was going to be played. So I knew the max amount of time that I would be working for the year. I had a start and I had a finish. I also knew when our 30 spring training games were going to be. And I also knew when our 162 regular season games were going to be, when and where they were going to be. And I also knew when our playoff schedule, what the playoff schedule was going to be. So I had all of that information. That meant I knew exactly where I was going to be, and what the time constraints during that year, what they were going to be as well. So that's controlling my schedule. I had full control over my schedule. Now, I didn't set the schedule, so I couldn't control that part. But once it was set, I could then control my schedule within the schedule. And that is so important. I have a saying. I say, show me your schedule, I'll show you who you are. Show me your schedule, and I will show you your life. Show me your schedule, and I'll show you your results, because our schedule is directly related to our output. If we're not doing the right things, there's no way that we could achieve what it is that we want. So we have to have the right schedule, the right time allocation, doing the right activities, and then we'll get the desired results that we so badly want. Next, within our schedule, we have to be focused on MVAs. I call these MVAs your most valuable activities. These are activities that are high yield activities. Your most valuable activities are activities where you say, hey, when I do this, it leads to this or more of this, and this should be a good thing. This should be some level of profit, or some level of gain, or some level of momentum that's built that takes you to your next place. Those are your most valuable activities. So step 1 is you have to understand and own your schedule. Number 2, you need to fill your schedule strategically with these MVAs, your most valuable activities. Then from there, so you can stay focused on your schedule and on your MVAs, you have to identify your triggers. And these are triggers that take your focus away from executing on the schedule that you built and on the MVAs that are embedded within your schedule. Okay. So I want you to think about that. What are these triggers? For some people, it's email notifications. For some people, it's text messages. For some people, it's social media apps dinging and going off and taking attention away. Triggers are anything that takes your attention and focus away from your MVAs and adds unnecessary time and workload to your schedule. We have to be very, very aware of what those triggers are. I was recently talking to a client and he said, listen, I had to take all daily newsletters off of my email because I was getting distracted. So I now only tend to them on the weekend. Great job. He felt that that was taking him away from his effectiveness. He noticed that was a trigger. It was hurting his focus on his MVAs. It was taking him off schedule, and he had to eliminate that. What are those triggers for you? What are some of those triggers that you are dealing with that are very high cost to you achieving what it is that you want to achieve? That is how you get yourself positioned to win. The better your schedule, the better your chances for success. That is how you win. That is how great athletes win. That is how great executives win. Lower performers are constantly in a reactive state and giving their time away. Stop giving your time away. It's too precious to keep giving away. You have to focus on high-level activity that is high yield and is most valuable, not the things that you could do any other time. You got to own your schedule. It is critical if you want to be positioned to win. And too many folks are not positioned to win. Then they get frustrated that they're not winning and not maximizing their full potential. And the cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. And then they join some sort of a program or a course or something like that. But most of these programs and most of these courses are not talking to you about your schedule and getting focused on your schedule and cleaning up that schedule to only contain what you determine based on previous history and output as your most valuable activities. So you got to own your schedule. When you own your schedule and you fill it with MVAs, most valuable activities, and you identify and eliminate all triggers that take you away from that, you know what happens? You start to achieve on a daily basis. You start to move towards your target. And isn't that what we want? Again, I always say this show is for winners. This is a show that I do every week for people that are winners, people that are action takers, people that are going to listen to this and say, hey, I'm opening my schedule right now. I got to see what's going on here. My schedule is not what it should be. That's who this show is for. Got it? So I want you to take action. Action always wins. Don't just listen to this show and make it like every other show. I hope this show is somewhat entertaining, but more than anything, I hope this show is practical. And I hope this show gets you to where it is that you want to go and where you should be when you maximize your full potential. So that's my message for you today on getting yourself positioned to win. If you're a leader of other people, take this information and help them develop their schedule, and you'll see the productivity of your team and organization truly elevate to the next level. I have a few announcements here before you go. Number one, make sure you get on my daily blog at danacavalea.com. 60 to 90 second read Monday through Friday to keep you excited, motivated, and focused with practical tips that you could easily implement. That's number one. Number two, I've been doing a show on YouTube called the Becoming a Champion Show. We've had some great guests. Most recently, Ali Webb. She's the founder of Dry Bar. She sold the company for $250 million, and she shares her story. So check that out on YouTube. And I'm also going to start uploading the audios to the Becoming a Champion Show guest interviews to this podcast. So look for that as well. So each week I'm going to do this monologue type podcast, but I'm also going to introduce some of my friends and some of the guests that I've had on this show. And I hope you enjoy it. I know you will. And if you enjoyed today's episode, give us a review, give us a like on iTunes. It goes a long way. And share it with your friends, share it with your coworkers, and let's build this team of champions together. Winners have to hang with winners. And when we build that energy together, great things can happen for all of us. This is Coach Dana Cavalea. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Becoming a Champion show. See ya.